I think the other guys on the roster has to help him, but you got to free him up early. You need him in attack mode, almost forcing some shots with the way he's shooting the basketball right now.
Ted Valentine, Pat Driscoll, Eric Lewis are officials. Miami in the home black and pink trim. Virginia in the road white. Matthew Cleveland off the mark. And the rebound ripped down by Jacob Coffey.
Now, one advantage Virginia has early here is Miami started a smaller lineup. They've had a ton of lineup changes. And right now, they're starting Brandon Johnson at the 5.
Here's Day Ames. Got his own miss. Taine Murray bounces it in. And he is making just his 4th start of the season, again, due to those injuries to Saunders and Rhodey. And you mentioned all of the jumbling of the Miami lineups. This is their 9th different starting lineup tonight.
Great thing, shot by Taine Murray, getting the first one to go in, getting the confident bounce.
Cleveland has been a top 5 scorer in the ACC since league play began. He's only gotten better as the season has unfolded.
Well, before you can lay off of him and expect him to drive, but now he's shooting 40% from the 3-point line. You've got to get up, close out, and contest that shot, giving him a driving lane. And 6'7" with his athleticism. He's scoring it at a high level right now.
Murray taking it to the cup and has both buckets early for Virginia. Murray, a guy that is the most tenured player on the Virginia roster, has stuck it out over the course of his career, seeing more playing time than less playing time, and tonight makes his 4th start of the season. Bethea puts in a 3.
Talented freshman playing out of position. So you see the half-court offense. They're not running a ton of ball screens with them. There are a lot of both teams are running a similar mover blocker type action, phase screens, a lot of pin downs. Trying to get offense without having to create so much on their own.
Here comes Staten McCray. And as you mentioned, Bethea being relied upon to run the offense for Miami when really he's a pure scorer.
Yes, that's what he's recruited for, one of the better scorers in high school. And this will help him grow and mature in his game. Having to facilitate, run a team.
Nigel Pack still out for Miami. He's been out since the middle of December. No timetable for his return. And it has forced other guys like Bethea to play a little bit out of position as Murray is off the mark. And it's going back to Miami.
Gotten a lot of good looks for Virginia. If you're Miami, you have to do a better job of protecting the paint. Because if you give up layups, you're going to give up threes because of the rotation.
This was a huge loss for a Miami team that, albeit was struggling before Nigel Pack's injury, but to have him go out as a preseason first-team all-conference player, massive impact on this team.
I mean, he just, you know, this team struggles. They don't have a point guard right now.
Right.
And we'll get into the freshman point guard, Devon Ogochukwu. He struggles from 3. And so he's a freshman that they were going to redshirt. So not having Nigel Pack out here just puts so much pressure on everyone else. And they're having a hard time settling down because they're playing hard enough to get themselves in games. And then now they're struggling with confidence when you start losing games like this.
Well, we saw that in their overtime loss to Cal, 98-94. Highly competitive game for Miami. Had chances to win it, could not pull it out against the Bears. Less than 10 to shoot for Virginia. Sharma with 5. Deep 3 from McNeely. And Blake Buchanan making his first start since mid-December, wins it back.
The good thing for Miami is we talked about some of their struggles. Virginia doesn't play at a pace that's going to run away from you. So if you just compete and defend, their pace will allow you to stay in the game. But you got to rebound. They've given up 2 offensive rebounds early. Common mistake that teams make when you're playing against Virginia in this pace and their defensive prowess is that you can't take quick bad shots.
Both teams in the midst of 2.5-minute scoring drought.
Both programs obviously missed both of these guys.
But it really continues a trend that we're seeing, particularly in this conference, was a changing of the guard at the very top.
It's bound to happen. We had legends and directly responsible for the time frame we're in right now, age, all those things factor in. But you hate to lose legends in the game, and we've done that with Kay and Roy, and lost some Hall of Famers as well.
6-0 Miami scoring run over the last 3 minutes. Again, Virginia tonight without 2 of their top 3 scorers. Who steps up to help McNeely with 3 on the shot clock? It's Buchanan rolling to the rim with a 2-hand jam.
Right now, the way the ball is getting to the rim off dribble penetration will allow Virginia to get easy shots similar to that. If they don't get that, they'll get a 3 weak side.
Great feed inside to Taine Murray from the freshman Divine Ugachukwu, who again, as you referenced before our last break, intended to redshirt this year.
Yes, and that point guard, we got a sneaky matchup here I think is critical because both teams struggle with point guard play. And who wins that matchup? Between Ugachukwu and Taine Ames.
Kyrie Huey just into the game with a nifty floater with the left hand.
Not known as a scorer, but he turns over that left shoulder and shoots that hook off the glass. He doesn't dribble. Just a great job there with the quick hook.
Well, it's a Virginia team that's lost 6 of its last 7, including a buzzer beater to SMU. A heartbreaking loss for this Hoos team as McNeely puts in a jumper.
When you're guarding Virginia, you know they're going back to that mover blocker offense. A ton of movement, pin downs, flare screens. You're chasing the entire time. You've got to be committed defensively.
Cleveland off the mark in the rebound. Coffee. During many of these losses for Virginia, Randolph, it hasn't necessarily been lack of offense, but lack of defense, and that was certainly the case in their loss to Notre Dame. Challenged by interim head coach Ron Sanchez to give more effort defensively.
They're still only giving up, 64 points a game. Obviously, coming from Tony Bennett, you always complain about defense. That's coach talk. I think their biggest issue is on the offensive end of the floor.
Do you?
When you struggle, you only score 61. You put so much pressure defensively. They're doing a great job. Virginia controlling the tempo and pace the way they've always done. And they don't have a guy. They've had guys that can close games for them when they're going to keep you in close games, and that's what they're missing.
Ranking last in the ACC in points per game, last in field goal percentage. The interesting thing about the defensive side is this is a team that is ranked inside the top 6 in the country many years in a row.
Yes.
This year they're still in the top 25, but not quite at that same level that we've seen.
And that's why I said the offense is the issue, because they're not generating enough points. There's no one out there on the floor making the game easy for others. It's just not coming easy for them. They've always had elite point guard play, Reese Beekman most recently, and they don't have that guy right now. And Jalen Worley came in from Florida State, was supposed to be that big point guard, being able to get in the paint, create for others. And obviously when Tony Bennett decided to step away, then he too decided that he wanted to get in the portal and move on, and left a massive hole in the lineup for Virginia. And I think it's one of the bigger issues of why they've struggled.
Full court pressure here from Miami.
And you'll see by committee handling the ball too. I know Taine Ames started at the point, but you'll see McNeely, you'll see Taine Murray. A lot of guys will be involved in ball handling.
McNeely coming off the screen and knocking one in from downtown.
That's why I think this game will go back and forth. I think the defensive issues that Miami has, you're going to have to defend the movement, the screening, the physicality of Virginia. Miami just has multiple guys that they can give the basketball to score.
Kidd under pressure, had the pass picked off by Murray. Ugachukwu won it back, and then Ames bringing it up the floor for Virginia.
Then Kidd checked into the game. They're going to double him when he gets the ball in the post. He's an effective scorer with both hands in the paint. As soon as he checked in, the first time he touches it, they go to double.
McNeely's hot. Back-to-back threes. And he has scored in double figures in 7 of their last 8 games, including 14 against Notre Dame over the weekend. Lynn Kidd fighting in the paint with Robinson, and an offensive foul will go against Miami.
McNeely's heating up. Averages 2 threes a game. He's already got that. Coming off the screen, you don't get out. Cash. Come off again, you're trailing it. Cash. Offense has been a staple for Virginia for the last 15 years. If he gets the fade screen there, comes back with the pin down. McNeely knows where his shot's coming from there. When you're guarding this team, you don't know if he's going to continue off the other side. You're chasing. You've got to figure out a way how you want to defend that. If you want to go off the top screen on the fade, did you stop and force him to run across? If you do, you're trailing on the other side. It's simple, but it's really effective offense. And McNeely knows you can win a national championship here running this offense.
Well, he too has been tasked with a bit of a different role this year, actually initiating offense for Virginia after all they lost from last year. 5 of their top 7 scorers, including a couple of NBA players.
He's have to. I mean, they put too much pressure on day-to-day games. He's still a relatively young player, and I think it's helped McNeely with his offense. It's made him more effective off the dribble. He's not just a catch-and-shoot guy anymore.
How different is that, though, going from being a guy that, you know, maybe gets 5 or 6 shots a game to being a guy where your coach says, hey, look, go hunt shots, even if you're missing those shots?
Well, it's a great thing when the coach tells you to shoot more. I don't think any player has ever said, oh, coach, I don't want to shoot anymore. But no, it's this team needs him to be really aggressive. He's an efficient shooter. Like we said, he's second in the ACC in percentage and mades. And I think the one thing he needs to add to that is he needs to attack to the basket, draw fouls, get to the free throw line a little bit more. When you're shooting the ball that well, sometimes just shot fake.
Did you ever have a coach tell you, Randolph, just keep shooting?
Absolutely never. Stop shooting.
Never.
Stop shooting.
Stop shooting.
What was that? Telling me to shoot? No. I always had a motto. If I walked in the gym, I was open. So
that's a good motto to have.
There you go.
Here is Ames for 3 and puts it in. And Virginia all of a sudden on a 9-0 run, responding to Miami's 6-0 run.
Miami's got to take something away. A lot of trailing on these down screens. They're sticking the screens. Got to do a better job of getting through so they can contest some of these jump shots.
Already 4 made threes in the first 10 minutes of the game for the Hoos.
And that definitely favors Virginia. And we heard Coach Courtney talk about that. You know, that we got to defend the three-point line. Virginia's really good when they're making threes.
Bethia missed it with the left hand.
Right now they're switching 5. Miami is. Let's see if they can identify the mismatch. Now they've allowed Miami to get back in their matchups.
McNeely catch and shoot and puts it in from the corner. His 3rd triple. And McNeely in double figures already midway through the first half.
Can't let a shooter get hot. He's knocked down 3 threes. Someone's got to step up defensively. See, now he's faking. You don't know if he's coming off. You try to cut the screen. He fades to the corner. Again, he's a veteran in this offense. You just got to commit to locking and trailing, being there on the catch. You just got to fight through screens. If you're dancing and you're unsure, he's going to light you up, and he's off to a fast start here in the first half.
Had 4 threes in the loss to Notre Dame over the weekend. You talked about it. When this Virginia team has been able to make shots from outside, they have been a much more competitive and fluent offense. McNeely again. And Matthew Cleveland unable to save it. And so it'll be Virginia basketball.
Great job there by T.J. Powell, turning down a three to give McNeely another shot.
Ron Sanchez's team seeking their first true road win of the season. 0-5. As he brings McNeely to the bench for a breather. Now it'll be interesting to see who Virginia runs its offense through with McNeely on the bench.
But they're still in the move of blockers. The pin downs and fade screens. The offense isn't going to change.
Sharma, under 5 to shoot. Coffee. He had a nice game against Notre Dame. Probably his best game in ACC play.
Very talented freshman. And again, when freshmen, these young guys, they get to February, things start slowing down for him. He understands where his points and shots are going to come from within his offense there. You saw him flash, knock down a 15-foot jump shot. And Miami's got to be careful because they're getting punched in the mouth right now. It isn't getting up pressure on you. They try to protect the paint by trapping and keeping the ball out of the paint. And offensively here, they're going to run their offense. He's trying to get the ball inside to Kofi.
Five to shoot for Sharma. And Ames stepped out of bounds on the catch.
Well, it's still early. There's no need to panic. But again, after that performance against SMU, you needed to come out and say, listen, who's on board and who's not? And you got to come out, compete, play with each other, and they're responding. I think their energy is good. You just worry because if they struggled in the past, this team would just let it go and they just would shut down. And defensively, that's just about competing in pride. And at some point, whether you're here or you're somewhere else, you got to show what you're about. And you often tell guys in situations like this, you're putting this on tape. This is about you as much as it is about Coach Courtney and his staff and everybody taking their shared responsibility as well.
Late in the clock for Ames. 1 to shoot. Step back jumper is good for the transfer from Kansas State. Cleveland off the bounce, counted in the foul.
You see experience right there. I think Matthew Cleveland identifies he's coming off with his right hand one, but they're not really hedging and showing. They're just standing there, then they're rotating back. He knows if I just drive it hard, I can turn the corner. Takes the contact and finishes off the glass.
He has 30 or more in 2 of his last 3 games, including 30 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, no turnovers in the OT loss to Cal.
He was phenomenal against Cal. And I think this is the end of the floor where he's starting to take a step. When you talk about wanting to be a pro, offensively, he's doing all the right things. This is the end of the floor where he has to show leadership to a bunch of transfers and young guys that are playing right now.
Liam McNeely fresh back onto the floor, had to take a late shot clock 3. Buchanan for his second putback of the night.
Now Miami's back to the small lineup with Johnson at the 5, and he usually starts at the 4. There's an opportunity for the Virginia front court to take advantage of on the offensive glass.
State McRae lost it, defended by McNeely.
It's another careless turnover here for Miami. That's added to this run.
Their 6th of the first half. Coffee, good hesitation, sent 2 Hurricanes flying and lays it in. They wanted to get a timeout there, won't get it. Cleveland trying to take advantage and cannot. And now Coffee will call timeout. We will step aside for 30 seconds. A 10-point lead for Virginia in the midst of a 20-5 run. 13 hours of college hoops on ESPN on Saturday. What do you think? Will it be a friendly return for Coach Cal?
No, I don't think it will be.
Arkansas just picked up their first win in SEC play against a very good Georgia team who was ranked in the top 25. before losing a handful. And another offensive rebound for Virginia. They already have 7 second chance points tonight. Oh, that's set back by Cleveland. And now Miami on the run. Oh, that's rejected by Murray. Cleveland off the glass.
Thought they'd come double Matthew Cleveland there on a post against the smaller backcourt of UVA. He likes that matchup right now.
Murray backdoor feed and paid off by McNeely. Heady pass by Murray.
Miami's going to have to switch or go with a bigger lineup right now. They're getting pounded on the glass. There's no rim protection. Got to keep Virginia out of the paint.
Cleveland goes to the paint hard with one hand. Hello.
Constantly in attack mode. And you know he's going right, but he's just quicker than you think. He's just catching and going. Been able to bend the corner and get to the rim 2 or 3 times here already in the first half.
Has the last couple of buckets for the Canes. Murray bumped late in the timer again. 4 to shoot. Murray takes it all the way to the cup.
No communication on the defensive end by Miami. Are they switching? Are they showing? Johnson and Cleveland got to communicate there. It's just too easy on the offensive end right now for Virginia.
Murray has already nearly doubled his season average in scoring. Still 3 minutes left in the first half. Cleveland eyeing the clock. Got his own miss. And floated it too hard with the left hand.
What happens when you play Virginia, they're going to force you to defend on this, to guard on this end of the floor. 20 seconds, 25 seconds, you're going to use the shot clock. They're never going to rush. The tendency is you want to speed the game up, and you take quick shots and bad shots, and this is when you get yourself in trouble.
And Buchanan has had his way in the paint so far tonight. Again, making his first start since December 22nd.
And he has experience starting in this league. Spent a lot of time starting a year ago. He's a versatile offensive player.
Already 6 points, 4 rebounds.
No quitting this guy. Right spot for Miami. Turns the corner and rocks the rim. Matthew Cleveland in here. Blake Buchanan says, you're too small. Gets to the rim with ease. Virginia up early. Ability to improve in his shot off the bounce. Could always catch and shoot. His movement off the ball has always been his strong suit. And he is hot here in the first half with 11 first half points.
Well, we've talked about offense being a struggle for this team, right? Last in the league in both field goal percentage and scoring.
Right.
Certainly that's been even more the case on the road, where they have yet to win this year. Great start for Ron Sanchez's team.
Well, they're forcing turnovers here. I think another unforced turnover there for Miami. You know, you don't beat Virginia by driving the basketball, over dribbling. 2 or 3 dribbles, help is coming. They tend to over help. And then on the other end, they're just moving the basketball, getting good shots.
Murray knocks down another 3. That is the 6th of the half for Virginia. Now with their largest lead of the night.
And what you're seeing is Virginia's offense creates opportunities. A lot of movement, screening. You see them pressuring the basketball here. Miami's running their offense at half court. One pass, a lot of dribbling. No one's making the game easy for anyone.
Inside to Kidd, who missed the game against Cal over the weekend. Nice move in the post to snap a 7-0 run.
He's got to play more. Get the ball inside. I think the double team's coming. This is just too easy.
Buchanan with an 8 early points on 4 of 4 from the floor. All of them have been dunks or layups.
You won't get anything easier than that. And got to be concerned for the Hurricanes because when they've been in situations like this in the past, they have not competed at the level that you would have liked to see. And the double team will come in the next time Lynn Kidd touches it.
Schwartz in and out with the 3. Kidd the rebound. And the putback is good. Back-to-back buckets for the Virginia Tech transfer.
A lot of time left. No need to panic. I know we're still in the first half, but this is the end of the floor. Miami has to start setting the tone.
Wide open 3. Murray, no. Schwartz the rebound, and Miami can play for the last shot if they want.
Great job by Matthew Cleveland. Just seeing the shot clock again. The younger players, Miami, he didn't see the shot clock. Great job by Matthew Cleveland identifying the situation.
Timeout called by Bill Courtney. We will take it with him. Back in 30 seconds for the conclusion to the first half in Coral Gables. Thursday, 2 more great women's basketball matchups for you. Flau'jae Johnson and number 7 LSU host Reagan Beers and 13th ranked Oklahoma, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Then at 8:30 Eastern, Audie Crooks and Iowa State take on number 11 Kansas State. Should be another great night of women's college basketball. Bill Courtney's team trying to end the half with a mini run. Down 13, 10 seconds to go. And fouls to give for Virginia, shortening the clock Miami has to work with.
Seven seconds. Miami's going to run the same play, but Virginia has another foul to give.
And there it is from Sharma. Next one puts Miami on the foul line for 1-1.
Coaching staff reminding their players they don't have another foul to give. Clearing out the side for Matthew Cleveland.
With 1. Fadeaway is good for Cleveland to beat the horn, and he has 10. Bringing Miami back to within 11 after trailing by as many as 15.
Great job there. They'll be difficult to beat for anyone.
Meanwhile, limited Miami to just 29 points. And those 8 turnovers that Miami had in the first half all felt like big ones. Led to 13 Virginia points.
And some of them were careless turnovers.
Yep.
And that and the offensive rebounds have been the biggest difference in this first half.
7 second chance points in the first half for Virginia. Won't get any there. And here comes Matthew Cleveland, led all Hurricanes with 10 in the first half.
And see, I don't think that's a good possession there, you know, because when you come down, Virginia's going to bring it up, and then they're going to get in their offense, and you're going to have to guard for 20 seconds. You want to speed them up. You want to get back in the game. Just chip away. You can't have one pass and one shot against this team. Force Virginia to guard. Move the ball multiple sides. And someone needs to make a play for someone else. Right now, everyone gets the ball is just trying to score.
Inside to Brandon Johnson. Back out to Cleveland. Maneuvering into the paint, draws a foul on Murray.
Murray did a good job guarding him off the bounce. He knows he wants to get to that right hand. Once he gets to that mid post, he's going to turn, shoot his fadeaway, or jump into you. Force officials to blow the whistle. And gets rewarded with 2 free throws.
Talked in the first half about Murray's Cleveland's excellence, particularly in league play. And we asked Bill Courtney about that shift. And he said his maturity in his everyday approach has taken a jump, a massive one.
I think he's taken a lot of pride in taking the onus. This isn't his fault what's happened, but he's coming into his senior year. He was expecting to have a really good year, and you can see he put the work in to improve his jump shot, and now he's being tested from a leadership standpoint. And he's stepping up, from what the coaching staff believe, he's doing a much better job with that. Right now, at times, I think he's doing too much, but that's just the competitor in him.
5 to shoot for McNeely. Back to Murray, and the floater is good. How about Taine Murray making his 4th start of the season, now with 12 points?
Just getting to his spots there. I think it's just too easy if they're not getting threes when they come off the fade screens or the pin downs. Their ability to get to the paint off the dribble has been surprised.
Well, we knew tonight that Virginia was going to have other players step up. Down Elijah Saunders, down Andrew Rohde, 2 of their top 3 scorers out with injury, and it has not all been on the shoulders of McNeely.
No, because they're running their offense, and it's just the next man up mentality. The way that Virginia's attacking you is just the next man up. Miami right now is relying on individuals to make plays. Virginia's standing within themselves offensively, and the ball is just finding the open guy.
That's the 3rd foul on the freshman Jacob Coffey. So now Anthony Robinson's going to come on. They don't know when Andrew Rohde will come back. He played hurt in the loss to Notre Dame, tried to gut it out, but it was obvious he was not at 100%. Meanwhile, Saunders is in a boot. Neither participated in the shoot-around today. They hope to get both back soon.
Saunders was playing so well. I
Yes,
thought he was their best player.
Certainly one of the more improved players, too.
And he brings a level of toughness, versatility. I just thought he was playing at such a high level.
Good rejection there by Robinson, fresh in off the bench. Johnson doubled. 2 to shoot for Staten McCray. Beats the buzzer with a fadeaway triple over the outstretched arms of the 6'11" Blake Buchanan.
Great job being in front of the bench. I don't think he knew the shot clock. Bench was yelling for him to get it up. Sometimes you need a shot like that to go in to get you going. It's always better to be lucky than good sometimes.
Ames off the mark. Buchanan, another offensive rebound. Second chance for Virginia. Murray pays it off.
It feels like every time they've got an offensive rebound, they've punished them with an open 3.
10 second chance points in the game for the Hoos. And Taine Murray has stepped up in a big way, averaging 3 points per game. Has 15 to lead all Virginia scorers.
And Cleveland is a scorer. When he drives in there, he's looking to score to get it up on the glass. And he's drawing the foul, but someone else has to step up and create offense. Just a great unselfish pass there by McNeely, a touch pass. And Taine Murray steps into the starting lineup, and he is delivering himself.
Meanwhile, 4 offensive rebounds for Blake Buchanan tonight.
And these are the things that he's done in the past. I think that what they missed early was that Kofi just brings a physicality, even though he's a freshman. He's just a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical. And his ability on a short rolls, he's inserted to the lineup. But Blake Buchanan is a very good piece, and I think a very talented player also. He brings a lot of versatility and length, and shot blocking ability to this Virginia lineup.
Robinson doubled. Staten McCray trying to win it back, and it's Johnson coming away with it for the Hurricanes. Cleveland takes it to the cup.
Really good defense there by Miami, turning it into offense. They're starting to switch with the smaller lineup, as we talked about. They're switching. Trusting Lynn Kidd to guard on the perimeter.
Oh, what a hammer by the freshman. Anthony Robinson, who redshirted last season and has gotten more playing time as of late.
It's one of the issues with that mover blocker there. And as double team for Lynn Kidd comes and makes it difficult for bigs to get in the flow of the game. Because every time he touches it inside, they're going to double.
Strong take by Bethea, who you are very impressed by. His athleticism,
yes,
his natural ability on display there.
The talent is there. I mean, he's a very talented player. Just playing a little bit out of position. You want him attacking the rim.
Oh, Robinson went for the poster again, was fouled by Bethea.
Robinson there, they step up. He right after Christmas. And it's just difficult for the players and everyone's staff. And they're just great guys, great staffs. You won't find better people on either staff. And these staffs have been a big part of their success
No
these
question.
programs have had.
No question. In the 2022-23 season, the Cavs and the Hurricanes finished in a tie for first place in the ACC.
Yeah.
Both of these interim head coaches were on the
Those
staffs,
yes,
at the time. And so, obviously, big discussion amongst these fan bases and really amongst the ACC. What's next for both of these programs? Names have been thrown out as successors to both of these interim head coaches. A lot of that still to be ironed out, of course. Right now, they're just focused on winning games and developing the talent that they have right now. But where Coach Larrañaga has left this Miami program, and the same could be said for Tony Bennett, the future is bright for both teams. We'll be right back in Coral Gables. Be at their respective programs next year, but nonetheless, Randolph, where these programs are at, maybe barring this season, the foundation is laid for somebody to come in next year and return these teams to national prominence.
In today's times, it doesn't take a long time, but you're talking about programs that have been spoiled.
Matthew Cleveland has been spoiling the Miami faithful with incredible performance after incredible performance during the ACC slate. He's got it back to 5 in Coral Gables.
And they're feeding off their offensive end of the floor. Their intensity picking up defensively now. Look where the ball is. Pressuring the basketball out near half court.
Ames with 3. Sharma's got to go. Offensive rebound, fighting for it. Buchanan tapped into the hands of Cleveland.
Really good defensive possession there by Miami. Active. You saw second and third and fourth efforts on the defensive end of the floor. And those are the shots that you don't want. Just quick.
Good
Lynn
board
Kidd
by
does a great
Kidd.
job. Yeah, finding a
Backdoor
teammate.
feed, Johnson. And it's a one-possession game. And a timeout taken by Ron Sanchez. All of a sudden, some life inside the stadium in Coral Gables.
Just a great job there. Deflection, getting the pass, getting out. Not many better. Getting up and away than Matthew Cleveland there. That's just a great find. Lynn Kidd anticipating the double team coming. He knows when he gets it, they're coming. Great job looking over, finding the teammate there. But it's the defensive end of the floor where Miami's stepping up right now that's gotten them back in this game. This team has lacked confidence. When they've struggled at times, they've struggled early, they've caved it in. But not tonight. They've come out, they've competed here, dug themselves in a big hole in the first half, down by 11. They've come out in the second half, and they're competing. Cut this lead to a one-possession game right now. And this allows them to set their defense. Now they get to set their pressure. They go man-to-man. They can run and jump. They can go zone. Pressure back as they extend their defense now, man-to-man, full court. Look out for a one pass and running trap right now.
Miami on a 6-0 run over the last minute and a half. McNeely bumped and sold it on the foul by Ugachukwu. And that is number 2 on the freshman from Sugar Land, Texas.
Makes a great job there. Just a little overzealous there by the freshman. He bumps McNeely in the head, and he's going to sell that, as he should.
You give him an A for that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any sign of contact to the face, you go down. I'm surprised he didn't tell the officials to look at it. But look at the way they're running their offense. There's a big difference now. A lot of dribbling.
Draws another foul on the drive. That will go against Brandon Johnson. 4th on Miami. Both teams with 4 fouls. Still a lot of time left to play here in Coral Gables. Interestingly, though, because Ron Sanchez had to burn 2 timeouts quickly, Virginia has just 1 left for the next 13 minutes.
Let's see if Miami can continue to pressure.
Kofi inside to Buchanan, who has been excellent. 10.6 boards, hasn't missed a shot.
Both of these bigs on the floor, good passers, good sealers. They do a really good job in a high-low.
Kidd doubled. Kick to Ugachukwu.
That's a great possession there by Lynn Kidd. Really unselfish. Know the double team's coming. I think they need to play through him in the half court. When Matthew Cleveland isn't able to attack and finish, play through him, you get a better chance of getting an open look.
And Ugachukwu with a hard foul there, his 3rd.
I think the officials are going to take a look at this because he comes down there and it's not intended anything, but I think they're going to take a look at it.
Didn't seem on that replay to make any play on the ball.
No.
And now Eric Lewis and Pat Driscoll are going to take a peek.
And I don't think it was a violent foul, but to your point, by the letter of the rule, doesn't make a play on the ball and wraps him up.
Now, the one thing that benefits him is that Buchanan was not an airborne shooter, and they will take a look at this in detail as we take a break. Ugachukwu with his 3rd foul. Meanwhile, Blake Buchanan having an excellent night in his first start since mid-December. Welcome back to Coral Gables, where Virginia continues to lead by 5. They reviewed this last foul by the freshman Divine Ugachukwu on Blake Buchanan. It remains a common foul. 2 shots for Blake Buchanan. There was nothing excessive.
I think it's the right call because he originally went up. He just walled up, but he knew he was taking the foul.
First miss of the night of any kind for Buchanan. 5 for 5 from the floor. He's been a monster on the glass. 7 rebounds. For a guy that has been called back into action into the starting lineup due to the injuries to Saunders and Rhodey. 2-possession game, 12 minutes to go in Coral Gables. Virginia looking for its first true road win of the season. Miami trying to snap an 18-game conference losing streak. Ugachukwu Draws a foul, and the freshman is headed to the line.
They're starting to make the adjustment and realize Virginia's not hedging. They're just showing and they're recovering to the defender. So they continue to press the ball screen. They're turning the corner. Now they're starting to get to the paint and put pressure on the Virginia defense on the interior. Good job by the freshman settling down too.
Well, you talked about it early in this game. He was meant to redshirt.
Yes.
You know, that was part of the plan that Jim Larrañaga laid out for him when he signed. Got in, started to gain some weight, got into the weight program, and then because of the injuries and players leaving, he was called into action.
You find yourself in a difficult situation. It wasn't expected. And then for him, it's great. He gets this experience. He gets to play a lot of minutes. But what I like to see about him is that he's picking up defensively. Now he's trying to do the dirty work on the defensive end of the floor.
Cuts it back to 4. Miami trailed by as many as 15 in the first half.
See, now they're not punishing them on those screens because they're switching. You see Lynn Kidd outside, but the guard's got to hold up inside.
Murray left open, puts in a 3. And his hot shooting continues. He has 18 on 7 for 10.
Just a great passing skip there.
Blake Buchanan. A blocking foul on Ames.
It's a great find there, and Matthew Cleveland got buried inside. Taine Murray makes a play. Common rule by most teams, when you look weak side, that weak side defender's feet in the paint, and you skip it to that corner, he's either going to shoot the 3 or have a really good chance of driving a closeout.
Ugachukwu with 5. Schwartz, deep 3. Puts it in from the logo. Over the top of Sharma.
Great shot there by Schwartz, but again, great play by the freshman. Ugachukwu turns the corner, finds his teammate on the shake lift up there. He's starting to make plays on both ends of the floor. Now they're switching everything, and it's giving Virginia problems. They can't get into all their actions and sets right now.
Murray to Buchanan, met at the rim by Kidd, and a foul is called. That is the second on the former Hokie.
Just a great job of, again, using the shot clock. They're going to make you defend. Schwartz with the step back, shot clock running out. That's the second 3 Miami has made late in the shot clock.
One more foul for each team, and they're in the bonus the rest of the way. 1 timeout left for Ron Sanchez. Miami still with 3 timeouts. And Virginia just continuing to maintain the ever so slight buffer. Now it's 6.
They're going to force Miami to. These are the shots you got to be careful of, Miami. You know, for Miami, 1 pass, 1 shot, and then you come in on this end, and you see they're settling things down. They're going to make you guard and run their offense unless they get a mismatch or an easy basket. That's the only thing that's going to make them try to score quick.
McNeely like that matchup and is sent out of bounds by Johnson, who wisely wins it back, putting it off the back of McNeely.
Great job by Johnson, going to get it late. Blocks, comes in bounds before he steps out. Throws it off McNeely. Great defensive effort there. No quit in Miami. And we thought they'd fall down a lot early. And you can question their defensive intensity in the past, but you can't question it here tonight.
Schwartz off the side of the rim. Good rebounding effort by Kidd. Draws a foul on Buchanan, and that is number 7 on Virginia.
Kidd usually starts. the game, and he's coming in off the bench, and he's been really effective. You don't score a ton of points against Virginia because they're going to double you inside. He's made some really good plays. He's caught it inside. When a double team comes, he's finding teammates on a dive, or he's skipping it, getting it off the offensive glass. And it's always a good sign when your bigs knock down free throws as well. As this Miami team is second in the ACC, shooting 77%.
And Kidd, nearly a 79%
Yes.
free throw shooter.
You don't see that very often. You jinxed him. So you know.
No, you started it. I'm just following up what you laid down. Don't put that on me. Watch out. Murray takes it to the cup. A season-high 20 for Taine Murray. What a game. Averaging 3 points per game this season, the senior has stepped up in a big way for Virginia.
He's saying, Rhodey, who? Coach, no worries.
Schwartz, stake three again, puts it in.
Schwartz has knocked down back-to-back threes here, only shooting 31% on the year. He hasn't hesitated on the last 2 threes, and they look really good coming out of his hand. Look at the defensive pressure on the basketball now, what it's doing to Virginia's offense.
Kofi saved it, got bumped, and it is Schwartz with the foul. And that puts Virginia into the bonus.
I love the effort by both teams. It shows you they are playing with a level of pride. Throw the records out, it means something to them. All the distractions and everything that both programs have had, it's great to see these guys competing.
And a correction on that foul. It does not go against Schwartz. It goes against Brandon Johnson, his second. And it sends Jacob Kofi to the line. Well, this Friday's star-studded NBA doubleheader features Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets heading to Philly to take on Tyrese Maxey and the Sixers. Then Steph and the Warriors host KD, Devin Booker, and the Suns. NBA Countdown tips off our coverage at 7 Eastern.
Anthony Robinson checks back in the game for Kofi, and Virginia's playing with the big lineup inside, and you need that with Lynn Kidd. He's starting to get things going and get active here, becoming a bigger part of Miami's offense, keeping the bigger bodies on him.
Ugachukwu almost lost the handle. Matthew Cleveland sitting on 18 for now. Headed back to the foul line. It'll be his 4th trip tonight.
Got to keep him off that right hand. He turns that corner, you've got to send him back left. If you're trailing and give him that with his size and athleticism, all you can do is foul him.
That is the 4th foul on the Kansas State transfer, Day Ames. Well, we talked about how hot Cleveland has been. He can't miss, no matter the kind of shot he's taking.
I mean, you throw it behind your back corner 3 right now. We told you he's shooting 40% from 3.
Behind the back?
That's impressive. That's impressive.
That's a shot I don't want to have to make if a horse game is on the line.
No. I'm just going to give you the letter. I'm going to accept it.
He cuts it back to 4.
They're taking away those pin downs and fade screens now by switching everything, and now it's going to force Virginia. You got to make plays off the dribble now.
McNeely, that's a 3.
Got lost in the lack of communication with Schwartz. He doesn't get out to cover the 3, and when you're switching everything on the weak side, you don't need to switch the off-the-screen action.
First points of the half for McNeely, a 3, and Virginia has 9 in the game.
He's the one guy you can't lose. They lost him here, and he's making them pay. Wahoo's upset.
See, knock off Cooper Flagg and Duke, who have won an ACC best 14 in a row.
I would feel more comfortable if that game was in a Dean Smith Center to say that. I think Duke is one of the top 4 defensive teams in the country, and I definitely think they're the best in the ACC defensively. And as long as they have this unit together defending the way they are, I think they'll be tough to beat. I think a bigger question will be over under 2 losses in the ACC.
Led by not just one freshman. They have 3 freshmen in the starting lineup.
Yes.
For Duke. Cooper Flagg, is he having the best freshman season you've seen in recent memory?
I can't think of another guy that's having one, and that's impacting the game on both ends of the floor. He's not just doing it with his offensive skill set. He's doing it defensively and also in the leadership role for that group. He's been really fun to watch.
Matthew Cleveland's been fun to watch. Another 20-piece. Sends it down the floor. That was last touch by Anthony Robinson, so it'll stay here. 25 on the shot clock for Miami in search of their first ACC victory since February 3rd, 2024.
We're approaching a calendar year, and Virginia started that losing streak. And pretty sure they've heard about it from Coach Courtney. We need to end it against this team, and they've come out and they've competed.
Chukwu looking for Kidd. The double comes. Schwartz. He's hit a couple of those in the second half. Left it short on that one.
No panicking there by Lynn Kidd. Double team coming. He knows it's coming. Does a really good job of using his escape dribble, finding a teammate, even though it's an empty possession. I think they need to continue to play through him in a half court.
Murray going right at Cleveland. Puts his head down. Rebound Buchanan, whose night keeps getting better. 15 and 8 for the sophomore.
And 5 offensive rebounds for Buchanan there. Just really done a good job of playing off the guards.
Oh, they needed that from Kidd. Rims out.
I think that was a mistake there. They were expecting a double team, and you can see he went middle, spent baseline to finish, and just unable to knock it down.
Buchanan's first miss from the floor. Leaves the door open here for Miami. Can cut it back to a 2-possession game. Chukwu draws a foul, and the freshman is headed back to the line.
Chukwu was a little frustrated. I think the previous possession down the floor when he drove it baseline and Anthony knocked it out of bounds, he thought he was fouled then. And reminding Teddy Valentine, you missed me the last time, baby.
10th foul on Virginia. 2 shots the rest of the way for Miami. 3rd foul on Taine Murray.
One thing you'd like to see from Miami is they're doing a good job of attacking, but you got to look to make plays for your teammates. Virginia is 18 assists on 25 field goals. Miami's starting to get it going as well. They're starting to pick it up, creating for teammates as well, but could do a little bit more of that as they try to claw back into this game. We're getting to it the last 5 minutes here, and see if they get this intensity back on the defensive end of the floor.
Had it as close as 3 in this half. But Virginia's made timely shots and timely stops to keep the buffer. Inside, Buchanan, reverse, no. Kofi couldn't keep the handle.
You push the tempo, but if you don't have a good shot, now you get into your half-court offense. You don't need to take quick shots that are bad shots against this Virginia team.
Cleveland into the chest of Murray, counted in the foul.
He's so difficult to guard because he's constantly attack mode. Coming off here, he drives back to the left hand now, gets the angle, jumps into the chest of Murray, forces the official to make the call. Chance at an and one.
And that is 4 on Murray. Cleveland cuts it back to 4. And for now, Ron Sanchez keeps Murray on the floor. He has been a huge part of this team's offense tonight. 20 points on 8 of 12, a season high.
Now, there's no point guard technically on the floor. McNeely's running the point right now. And
Ames is on the bench with 4 fouls.
Now they can switch a lot. Will they communicate enough on the defensive end?
McNeely, quick trigger.
Taking advantage of the freshman there. Got lost on that wheel action. He thought he was coming back off the screen. He changed the sides of the floor, and Ogwuchukwu was late. Cannot be late on Isaac McNeely, one of the best shooters in the ACC.
Good feed inside the kid with the response, and a timeout taken by Miami's Bill Courtney.
Great job here. You lose a shooter off the screen, you go over the top, he stays on the baseline, knocks down another 3. Got a 5-point. Taine Murray was inserted in the starting lineup tonight. He's responded with a career high, scoring 20 points here and knocking down 3s, cuts to the rim. He's doing it all. He's telling Coach Sanchez, Rhodey, who? Coach, no worries, I got this. He's had himself a heck of a night. Let's see if the Wahoos can finish it off.
Who's down 2 of their top 3 scorers in Saunders and Rhodey, who you just referenced, yet they've shot 53% tonight, thanks in large part to these 2 gentlemen.
Well, they've come in, they responded with 35 points, and Blake Buchanan has done really well on the offensive glass. I mean, he's approaching a double-double with 1 more rebound, so he's got a starting lineup. I mean, they've been really productive with the opportunity, and they needed to be aggressive. You know, you just didn't need to rely on Isaac McNeely with the attention that he's going to draw. We were wondering who was going to step up, and both of these guys have, as they've been inserted into the lineup.
Murray, turn around, step back.
Now that allows McNeely like that to be a closer. They've done enough to get you in the game, to have a lead. Now we're in the last 4 minutes of the game. You can say, hey, Isaac McNeely, take us home.
Brandon Johnson, fake the 3, double clutch in the paint. Set back by Buchanan, who fell on the baseline. And it'll be Miami basketball.
Well, that's a great move there. Turns the corner, pivot, shows you the footwork, shoots the 15-foot fadeaway. It's nice. This time he didn't blow a kiss to the crowd. I thought Johnson got away with a travel down there. I thought he was shuffling his feet when he was spinning. Great effort just to get the extra possession here. See if Miami can take advantage of it.
Kidd, baseline doubled, finds Johnson for the 2-hand jam, and Miami stays within striking distance, down 5, and 3 minutes to go on Coral Gables.
That's where the experience comes in. Lynn Kidd knows Virginia may come in double, so he catches it, quick spin baseline, and when the double arrives, he's facing the defense, finds the teammates, keeps Miami in this game.
Foul on Miami. That is the 4th on Divine Ogwuchukwu. Both teams in the bonus the rest of the way. 1 timeout for Virginia, 2 for the Canes. And McNeely will go to the line, a 75% free throw shooter. Well, we've got a basketball triple header Saturday on the ACC Network. Florida State and Boston College kick us off, followed by the Commonwealth clash between Virginia Tech and Virginia. And then Randolph Childress We'll have you for the nightcap. SMU hosting Stanford in Dallas. Maxime Reynaud is fun to watch, isn't he?
He is. I think he's the most gifted offensive 7-footer in college basketball, and somebody who spent a first-round draft pick on him.
That is the first turnover of the second half for Miami. Gives it back to Virginia.
Yeah, they pulled the chair on Lenny Kid there. He's hold your ground, and he goes to back up to feel your body. You pull the chair, just back away, and he slipped and traveled. We're in the guts of the game right now for Miami. You got to get stops now. There's not enough time left. Just over 2 minutes. You've got to start stringing together stops.
McNeely three, bang! And blows a kiss to the crowd in Coral Gables.
Big shot there. You got to make sure you lock and chase him and run him off the three-point line. And too many times he's been able to shake loose. Comes off another screen. You're late. He knocks it down. Mwah. Blows a kiss to the Miami faithful.
He's having fun tonight. 26 with 6 made threes. He's 50% from downtown.
I mean, he's coming in shooting 42%, and it's shooting like that from three. He knows what he is, and like I said, what's helped this game is now he's starting to attack you off the dribble. He's starting to cut better off the ball, and also with his added point guard responsibilities, he's just letting the game come to him. It's in a groove right now.
Certainly his best game in his career against the Canes. In a game that Virginia felt they had to have. They've lost 6 of the last 7 as Cleveland tries to keep the Canes in it.
Allowed them to get in the offense and run their offense, which I thought they did early. So this is the type of pressure you need to extend earlier in the game. Now Ames is back in, extra ball handling, and they'll get right back into their mover blocker action here.
Ames playing with 4 fouls, as is Taine Murray. McNeely thought about it inside Kofi, and the foul on Johnson. 2 shots coming.
Ron Sanchez, the last possession, told Kofi to make sure he cut. Didn't cut fast enough. Now the freshman understands why. If I cut to the basket, I'll get the ball. Still a lot of time left. You just got to, if you're Miami, you got to attack her. This isn't a great position to be in against Virginia because their defense is built on help, rotating early. And Kofi misses a free throw, surprisingly. He's
Rare.
a 79% free throw shooter. We see some good shooting bigs from the free throw line. You don't usually see that.
Got a rebound here if you're Miami. If it's a miss from Kofi, they have struggled to keep Virginia off the glass. Kofi makes the second. 9-point game, 1:26 to go. Do you have to start hunting threes yet if you're Miami?
Well, you will if you don't get stops. Right now, you don't have to take the first available shot. You just decide to go quickly. You got to go and attack. You don't have to make the shot. You got to make the play for someone else or yourself.
Johnson, I believe, was fouled there by Murray, and if so, that's his 5th. It will go against McNeely instead, and that is number 4 on the junior. And that will send Brandon Johnson to the line.
They went small with their lineup. They played with 2 bigs most of the game, and they're doing their offensive, defensive substitutions right now.
Johnson, a 69% free throw shooter, misses the first.
Coach Sanchez walked over to us and just said he's improved. Yes, he has. Talking about Jacob Kofi. Tells you how much confidence he has. He puts a freshman big back in on the offensive possession to help with the press break.
Cleveland with the steal and the lay-in. 6-point game.
That's what you need to do here. You need to get a couple of steals and turnovers like this.
Inside of the freshman Kofi, who will bring it up the floor. And a whistle in there somewhere will go against Matthew Cleveland off the ball.
But you're under a minute now, so the clock's your enemy. You don't get the press. You don't get the trap. You got to foul. You got to string this game along. You can't allow Virginia to use the entire clock.
Buchanan, not a great free throw shooter, 54% this year. Two-possession lead for Virginia, looking for their first true road win of the season. Big make there from Buchanan.
Now defensive end of the floor. Virginia's with their smaller lineup with Kofi at the 5 and 4 guards, allowing them to switch everything if needed.
Chukwu right to the cup pass. Kofi took only a handful of seconds off the clock there. Now it's a 5-point game.
The 9-man-to-man, try to create a turnover there. You don't have to foul right away. Get a good trap.
Sharma barely got that ball in. Now trying to get it across half court.
Still haven't gotten it over yet. Now you got a foul.
That was awfully close. Bill Courtney wanted a 10-second violation, and now the foul does come from Schwartz.
Good defensive effort there by Miami. Nearly got a 10-second count. As soon as they got it across half court, you foul. And this is a good foul. Sharma hasn't played a ton. He's a good free throw shooter. He's only shot 8 on the season.
That is only the 8th made free throw of the season for Sharma. He's only taken 9.
Yeah.
Not a familiar place from the former Canadian National Player of the Year, but he makes them both.
He comes in with the reputation of being a shooter and plays a lot behind the three-point line, so he doesn't get a ton of attempts.
Cleveland had it jarred loose, and Pat Driscoll comes in and says it went off Cleveland. Now they are going to take a look at this, but the call on the floor is Virginia basketball.
I don't know if it's Virginia's basketball or not, but Ron Sanchez is yelling and screaming for it.
Here's another look at it.
Yes.
That's just a great swipe by McNeely.
It is, and that's just a staple in a pack line defense. Trying to dribble through, they're always going to dig and recover. That's one of the reasons why Virginia's always been one of the better defensive teams, not only the ACC in college basketball, because they get rewarded with another Miami turnover. And Miami had done a really good job in the second half of taking care of the basketball, and that's only their second turnover. And these guys have competed. Both programs have been through a lot. You know, it's just unfortunate what you had to go through, but they've shown well today. They've both competed, and we knew one of the streaks had to end, and we're 30 seconds away from maybe Virginia ending their road streak. And Miami's got to continue to fight.
Ron Sanchez wanted a timeout, didn't get it. It'll stay with Virginia. They have one timeout left. And again, awfully close to a 5-second violation.
Yeah, he's yelling now. He's putting McNeely there, so McNeely knows with the ball in his hands, he's got to have a 4 count and then call a timeout. Last thing you need to do is have a turnover here with no time on the clock. So you'll see McNeely inbounded if someone doesn't get open.
McNeely gets it in quickly to Kofi, and a foul on Brandon Johnson. That is number 4 on the East Carolina transfer.
What a luxury to have a big 6'10" freshman that you can put in to help out for press break. And Ron Sanchez told us we're going to have everybody involved in bringing the ball up the floor, because he says I don't want to put that pressure on any one player. to get us in the offense. And most teams don't have a center that's up pressing you 94 feet. Ron Sanchez is explaining to Blake Buchanan that he didn't want him to go to the free throw line until the second free throw.
Kofi makes them both. Buchanan comes back on. 9-point game here. Miami's got to go quickly.
Yeah, now you need threes.
Cleveland hoists. Can't hit. Rebound Virginia. And the Who's are going to come away with their first true road win of the season in Coral Gables.
When Virginia gets 40 in the first half and then 40 in the second, they have struggled offensively, but not here tonight. It's really efficient, sharing the basketball, shooting the basketball well from three. They've always taken care of it and got good quality shots, and they've earned this victory here in Coral Gables.
They will return home on February 1st to take on in-state rival Virginia Tech in the battle for the Commonwealth. And this one will taste sweet. They've been close in a handful over the last 7 games, losing 6 of those, including a buzzer beater loss at the hands of SMU. And you just got the sense from being around Ron Sanchez at the shoot-around today, being around his team, there was a hunger in spite of not having Saunders and Rhodey, 2 of their top 3 scorers.
It's next man up. And this group was confident that they could come in here and get the win, and they did. Credit to these guys. They're fighting. They're still fighting.
Big win for Virginia, now 1 away from getting back to 500 on the season, and the first true road win of the year for Ron Sanchez's Virginia Cavaliers.